All right, so I bought this book today, Reading Basquiat, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Excuse me. It says here on page 8, similarly, okay, now she's talking, the author, Jordana, is it? Jordana, the author is talking about a work of art by Jean-Michel Basquiat, so bear with me. The really juicy part is coming up in this paragraph, but we've got to get from the beginning to the end, so hold tight. She says, similarly, Krypton, the name of a chemical compound written in red at the top of the canvas, and Perry White are linked by way of the Superman series of comic books. Krypton and Perry White. Okay, that's in one of Jean-Michel Basquiat's artworks. If you're familiar with Superman, the comic strips, you know where she's going, perhaps, with this. We're talking about Basquiat, right? Let's see. Perry White was the editor-in-chief of the fictional newspaper The Daily Planet, while Krypton was the comic hero's home planet. The underlined name Jimmy Olsen, directly below Perry White, is that of a young reporter and photographer for The Daily Planet. The word kryptonite, a mineral from the planet Krypton, and the only element that could diminish Superman's power, appears near the upper right corner of the canvas. Here, Basquiat alludes to Superman instead of explicitly naming him. In all these examples, the words and phrases carry meaning because they interact with each other in a context outside of the canvas as well as within it. Basquiat made his compositions intentionally difficult, relying on viewers to recognize the unspoken links between them. Aha. Only those viewers who knew the breadth of the artist's interests can understand this operation clearly. As in his response to the primitive motto, Basquiat subverted the relationship between artist, object, and viewer by creating a non-linear narrative of the painting. I'm making this video because although I am reading about Basquiat, this basically, Jordana, the author, who's talking about Basquiat, she's basically explaining what Kendrick Lamar did in the Super Bowl halftime show. You had to know what all Kendrick Lamar was thinking about, was feeling, was, you had to know more about you had to know more of the backstory in order for you to enjoy the halftime show. And so, in very much the same way for Basquiat appreciates artists, or those who appreciate Basquiat's art, if you know his life, if you know what was happening at the time he was creating these works of art, then you have a greater appreciation of what that art is. Basquiat didn't create art just for you to look at it and say, oh, okay, I got it. No, you had to read into it. You had to know, all right, well, Basquiat, is feeling this, is doing this, is those are the reasons. You have to understand the artist before you could look at the artwork and then understand what the art means and represents. And that's the same thing with Kendrick Lamar. So when people are talking about it being a halftime show, it being the worst halftime show, it's because they don't understand what they were watching. They don't understand what they were viewing. I just wanted to add my 2 cents. As I'm reading this, that is exactly what came to mind. I'm reading about Basquiat, but I'm also seeing cross references between Basquiat and Kendrick Lamar and their artistry. So those are my thoughts. Peace and blessings. IC 109. I'm out.